the hearings got off to a bad start. Their first prosecution was against Professor Herbert J. Phillips, professor of philosophy at the University of Washington, and Scoop, as he was popularly known by students and faculty and friends alike, was a member of the Communist Party, and far from being ashamed of it, he was kind of proud of the fact and never made any bones about it, and always told his students when he was teaching them in his philosophy classes that watch out and be sure he didn't bias anything he said in that way, and to be critical. And he was regarded as a fine teacher and as an excellent person to open up people's minds to be really critical about everything. Anyway, Scoop was not ashamed of being a communist, and when he testified before a jury in Superior Court on the grounds that of his refusal to testify before the Canwell Committee, he said, "Well, I don't mind telling you about my beliefs, but I certainly wasn't going to be forced in these Canwell hearings to go into it." And the jury liked it. They liked everything about him, and acquitted him. Acquitted him on a little. They were 11-1 for acquittal, I think, just on general principles. But the one hangout juror, as we later found out, finally was convinced to acquit him on the grounds that the subpoena that was served on him was improperly served because the affidavit of service stated that the person had no interest in the case, and he happened to be one of the highest paid members of the Canwell Committee. So that's the way they convinced the 12th juror. Any event, that was a bad start because you get the sort of leading exponent acquitted. They had a hard time. They did go ahead and prosecute the other 5 people. Gunlack, Oppenheimer, Al Oppenheimer, the Jameses, and can't remember Rocky Forschmidt, Rockmil Forschmidt, also not directly connected with the university. But the worst they could do, in most places, they were giving people 6 months in jail. They did actually convict, I think, all the others, but they received 30-day jail sentences. And the cases were appealed, but the appeals were unsuccessful for technical reasons, and they did serve time in jail. But they weren't able to penalize them very heavily. And I think the tide kind of turned against Canwell as a result of these hearings, because he never really was able to reestablish any kind of authority. And a lot of things happened, such as his harassment of my mind is slipping. Harassment of Professor Rader, Mel Rader, at the university, and the demonstration that the prosecution of Mel Rader was based upon definitely perjured testimony. I mean, not the prosecution, but the libeling of Mel Rader was based upon perjured testimony, which got Guthman a Pulitzer Prize, and subsequently got other people who were involved in that various recognition.